This is my mother's potato latkes recipe, and Annette's going to show me how to cook it. I'm the Jewish one, and she's the non-Jewish one, but she's the one that is cooking the Jewish cooking tonight. So the first thing we need to do is peel the potatoes, and so I'll start doing that now. Any tricks in peeling the potatoes is that it shouldn't be in a food processor, right?
Well, we like them. You can do it in a food processor to save time, but we really like them the old-fashioned way, hand grated. So I just washed the potatoes, and now we'll peel them, and the same thing with the onion, and we'll just hand grate them here into the colander, and so we can smush them down and get the liquid out before we mix up the potato latke with the matzo meal and the salt and pepper and a pinch of baking soda.
Okay, so let me get started. This is me learning to cook, so thanks, and I'll call you if I need you.
Okay.
So this is now I have to drain the. Oh, first I have to peel the potatoes. And what kind of potatoes are these? Russet, or does it matter?
Well, these probably are Idaho. They might be russet. They might be gold.
Do we notice if it makes any difference, really?
It might, but I don't know. That looks great.
And how many potatoes does it matter for how much you're going to make?
I usually make about 6 potatoes with 2 onions and a couple of eggs, and then I add the baking powder, the salt and pepper. But tonight, since it's just the 2 of us with Hanukkah starting, we're alone, I'm just going to use 4 potatoes and 1 onion and 1 egg. And I'm guessing 4 potatoes will make us about 8 latkes, maybe more.
Okay.
But if you're having a party, you want to have, probably at least 3 to 5 pounds of potatoes.
Right, you'll see, I guess we'll see how much this makes at the end of the video. And I'm assuming there's no trick to peeling potatoes. You just do it. Having a good peeler, I guess, is important. All right, so those are the potatoes. And now I grate the potatoes into the colander.
Right.
Now, you got to be careful here because it could hurt yourself. So.
Right, that's why I appreciate your help.
All right, so you've sprayed some Pam.
Yeah, I always do that.
Okay.
Then you want to measure out. I've got a cup here. We might end up adding more oil. Not sure because we're not making that many. But you want to get that oil nice and hot before you put those latkes in.
Right, so and medium-high heat?
Medium-high heat is what I like.
Now this is my mother's recipe, and I used to stand by, remember when I was a kid, and I still do it, watching her cook so I can get it as soon as it comes out of the frying pan, because that's like the best part. Now I guess you could use a scoop or a spoon, but you just use the hands?
Well, I use my hands because I like to pat them pretty thin. We like them crunchy on the outside. We don't like them too thick. We like them thinner. We smash them down with the spatula after I get them in there, and so they're just nice and French fried in the middle, but crispy crunchy on the outside.
And what kind of oil do you use?
Oh, yeah. We just like to use a good vegetable blend of oil. This is Smart Balance. You don't want to use olive oil for this. You want to use a vegetable oil.
Do we know why?
Well, olive oil has a distinctive flavor.
Oh, okay, right.
This might be better at high heat than olive oil as well.
Okay, would you say it's done now, ready?
Is it sizzling a little bit? Yeah. So let's get one in your hand. Don't make them too small, but not too big. We're going to have to make multiple. That's okay. That's fine. We're going to have to make multiple.
She said that's good.
Yeah, and just be careful because that oil is hot.
Oops.
And careful, you can't throw them in because they fall apart. You just got to kind of slide them in, like along the side of the pan, and let them slide in. You don't want to burn yourself, but you do want them to hold together.
Now these still seem a little wet. Could
Well,
I?
they're wet, but trust me, as you smash, more liquid comes out. You got a lot of liquid out of there. They're fine. They're moist because potatoes and
Onions.
onions are moist. So you're gonna let them sit there and get nice and crisp before you turn them. And you can tell when it gets to be time to turn them because they become, the edges start getting brown. That one you can flip carefully. Flipping is delicate. That works. Sometimes I use the edge of the pan. Let me try to kind of help me, because you want to try to have it keep its shape. Ooh! It's hot.
Can't really do that.
Do that big one. I'll hold the pan for you. Good job. Now, form another small one. As they cook, you've had a little more room in the pan.
And I like eating them as we're doing them.
Well, that's fine if we're going to have any left for dinner. We may have to add oil before we're done. See how I keep pressing them down with the spatula? We really like them to have a nice, crisp outer texture, and you'll see some, especially the store-bought kind, which are decent, that you bake in the oven. They're not deep fried like this, because I imagine they're fried ahead of time, but they tend to be a little thicker and obviously much more uniform in shape.
And what do you serve this with?
Well, the traditional, it's a side dish. You serve it with sour cream and or applesauce as an accompaniment. And then if you're having a big party and everybody brings a potluck dish, somebody might bring a tuna salad, somebody might bring smoked fish or salmon, maybe some vegetable, maybe a deli tray. I think tonight we're going to have some steak with it.
Right. Now, I remember growing up that my mother would make this ahead of a time to the Hanukkah parties,
Oh.
and then bring them to the Hanukkah parties.
She would be cooking for days, and I believe she froze them. And then we would put them on big baking sheets and heat them up in the oven the day of the party or at the party. But
But there's nothing like it right out of the
there's
fryer.
nothing like it right out of the frying pan. I'm sure when she was prepping for the party, somebody was in the kitchen with her eating a few.
Right. Me, my sister. And if you saw my mother, you'd see she probably ate a lot of them too. See, and this is what they should be looking like.
At least that's the way we like them.
Right.
And they taste real good.
Most things that are fried taste good.
Yes. that one's for me. Mmm. Yummy. Oil's right behind you. Let's put in some more oil. Let's let that heat up, and we'll fry up the rest of them.
This is how much we got left.
Yeah, that'll probably make another half dozen or so. So it's going to end up making more like a dozen. How many have we got now? About 6? That's before you're eating them.
All right.
I have one more batch of 3. It's not ready yet.
Okay.
I flipped them too soon. Trust me, you don't want to flip them too soon. You don't want to burn them, but you don't want to flip them too soon. Does look really good. It's a mess, and it's not low-cal either.
Why? Because the potatoes and the
Oil.
Oh, the oil.
I mean, potatoes in and of themselves get a bad rap. They're not particularly low-fat, but the oil.